You can't put her finger in the trigger. It won't do right. That's bullshit.
Hey, welcome back, fellow collectors. Okay, so we're going pretty fast and furious. You won't notice, but I've been doing reviews like all night. So this is my last review of the night. Today we have, or tonight, shall I say, we have the Batman animated series Manbat, and this is a very, very impressive figure. Just, I mean, still in the packaging, and with like I said about all these figures. In packaging, they are dope. Out of packaging is something else. But this new wave thus far has really been impressive, starting with the Bane and then everything I've seen from there. So I just can't wait to get this guy out and see how they have outdone themselves with him or how they have fucked us over with them. We'll see, right? Let's take a look at the packaging right quick. It's an elongated version of what we've seen on the rest of their packaging. Just, oversized. Little warning there. Batman symbol on the Batman animated image on the back there. Sculpted by... Here we go. This is something interesting that I had not seen before. Sculpted by Sculpti Irene Matar. I don't know who that is. But, hey, her sculpt work is awesome. So, like we saw with Bane, here we are seeing that ab crunch again. I think it's worth mentioning that this is the same type of packaging that we see. What's her name? Yeah, Roxy Rocket Deluxe. It's a deluxe figure, so it's about the same size packaging that you see her come in. So I thought I would mention that. Thus far, these are the only two figures that come in packaging on that scale, other than the Batmobile, which I would imagine that package is way bigger. Oxford was holding it for me. They've probably gotten rid of it by now. But it's a good deal. It's still on BBTS. So if Oxford Comics, if you've gotten rid of my shit, I'll go to BBTS. You just lost out on money. Okay, here we have him out of the box. I left him in the clamshell or the tray because I wanted to keep all the parts together as I show you what all he comes with. So here down at the bottom here, you can see he comes with the recorder, if you remember that episode. This is a cool thing about this line. They include the little small things that you really... recall to memory the episodes from which they drew these characters. The tape recorder there, the pill bottles for the that the doctor was on to come about the transformation and turn into the Man-Bat. And I think there was a later episode where I think the daughter was turning into the Bat or something like that. I have to go back and watch it. He also comes with, if you turn him around, that stand that we've come to see in all of the figures, or most of the figures thus far. I'm not going to go through the problem of taking that out, the headache of taking that out, because you've seen it before. If you watch my Bane review, if you haven't watched my Bane review, go and watch it. If you haven't seen my Batman or my Two-Face review, go check them out. Check them out. They're worth watching. Okay, so here he comes with the extra set of wings, whereas the wings aren't fully extended. I guess if you want to have them in close quarters with other figures. Let's take them out of these wrapping and bindings. Okay, so unlike Bane, this guy, and it wasn't hard to tell. I kind of figured it was going to be like this. Unlike Bane, this guy is not going to stand on his own. I mean, you can do a little bit of work and try to, but you really got to have these front arms out to help him stand up, to balance the weight of the wings and the upper body on this figure. Now, unlike most, and this will have to be... because of the design of the character, there's not much room for it here. I mean, because here's the deal: you can just tell by the look, the design that they wanted to try and maintain. And this is, of course, is speculation, but I think it's common sense speculation in this case. They want to try and maintain that visual aesthetic from the cartoon as much as possible. So yeah, I would imagine they wouldn't want to do too many cuts for articulation on this guy. So there are some really strange articulation choices though. Just having said that, so you get a forward bend here and you get a forward bend there. You can see the pins like I showed you with the Batman there. The problem with this thing is, because it's set up for these wings to be interchangeable, this comes out really easy, like a little bit too easy. Like when I take it out of packaging, you just pop right off. Not so much a major issue like with the original run from this series, but still it's worth noting. I think with some clear coat or something like that, it would be fine. And it would stick right in there with no issue. So you get a full range of motion with that as far as going forward. Now, you can see where that funny joint it rotates all the way around, but you just can't get it all, right? And there is no bend here in the there's no bend here in the arm at the bicep or anything like that. Obviously, there's not going to be any finger articulation there. So we'll just take these out because these wings are kind of in the way and they hold them up. They're very easy to remove. You can take them out with little effort. Now, these arms, they seem to be a little bit tighter, so that's good. That's definitely good. So we just pop that on in there, and that makes them a little more manageable. These portions, okay, so you got a rotation here, right? The problem with that is it's kind of loose. So with that being so loose, it's definitely not going to stand up under the weight. Had it been a little more friction on it, I think he could balance his weight a little bit better. So I may have to shoot something in there to see if I can make that a little more stiff. Okay, so just like with the fully extended wings, you get the same deal here where the arms only come out, but so far they just stick in there a little bit better. His neck articulation is really limited, but he does get a little bit of bend there in the jaw. That face sculpt is perfect. Oh. It's scary how close that is to the cartoon show. I'll just take those out because I don't want it's in the way. Take a look at that. Even the line work inside of the ear. The style is it's perfect. I mean, what more could you ask for? Other than balance and other than more articulation, right? So you get a rotation here in the upper part of the torso there. At the sternum, I guess it's called. And then here you get your ab crunch, and that's a serious ab crunch. He bends all the way down, like he could, give himself fellatio if he wanted to. That's sick, Brave. That's sick. Why would anybody want to give themselves fellatio? Okay, so yeah, nothing here at the lower portion. Now here's another weird deal as far as the articulation on this guy. You get this side spread on the legs, and then here on mine, and I can't speak for any other ones except for the one that I have, but you have a split there at that seam, and that's just check this out on this side. He has a seam. I guess it's from the molding or whatever the case is, the way it was cast. But oh gosh. So when you put that leg up, that splits open a little bit more, and that's really unfortunate. And then you have articulated points here, but because of the way that it's cut, the way that it's molded at that joint, you can't go forward. You can only go just a little bit back. Very minimum articulation there, or very minimum range of motion there. What I am happy about, though, is you just don't see any paint rub. You don't see any paint rub as you typically would expect from these figures. So you can move a lot further forward with the legs and not so much far back because of the way it's cut. But then I don't think these figures are meant for the posing. I really don't think they're meant to come out of packaging, to be honest with you. Love the way that back just arches over like that. That's really cool. He's got a really massive back there. He looks really good. He looks really good. The brown is on. The gray on the pants is on. They could have messed his figure up. They could have made him not what he was intended to be, but I think they nailed it. Not much playability with it though, sadly. So let's put him on a stand so he can actually stand up, so we can put him next to some of the other figures and see how he looks. So there he is. I had to put him on. I put him on Bane's stand, so I went to go through the headache of having to pull out his stand. And even using the stand, it really is not easily posed figure. He doesn't stand well at all. And that's mainly because of those hind legs there. The way they're loose, the way the socket is loose. So maybe if we can repair that, then he can get a little more stability as far as standing him up. So here he is. Here's Bane with him, and you can see that him and Bane are two of the larger characters from the line. They stand very well together. Let's bring out old Bats and put our old Batman in the picture as well. There's Batman. And I just want to say this. And I got to get him now because of this figure. I have to get the on leather wings Batman because I think he would go so much better. I think his overall appearance is just much better as far as his face and everything like that goes. His head sculpt and everything. So the Batman is not very much smaller than this character, but he's posed in such an awkward manner with his back being hunched over and his head being so low that it makes him seem as if he's eye to eye with Batman when in all actuality he's a lot bigger. And just to freshen it up, because I've already showed you Batman and Bane together, let's pull out, here you go kids, it's your old Uncle Joker. And he comes about from that period where they were just in between the first wave going into, I think he was in the second wave if I'm not mistaken. Second or third wave. So he's like right in between, whereas they've cleared up some of the issues, but then you still have a few issues left. But even Joker, he still looks great. He still looks awesome. And then have them all together, it just really looks good. That's just to give you an idea of how well they all scale together. I have a Two-Face as well, but I'm not going to bring him out. There's no point in that. Hey. So my final thoughts on this guy, just to mention it. So the Roxy Rocket figure is a deluxe, as well as him as the Man-Bat being a deluxe. The difference is the Roxy Rocket figure is about $40, I think it is, and this guy is actually $25 on the same price line as the rest of the figures. And thankfully so, because if I paid more than $25 for this figure, even having paid $25 for this figure, I would feel like I got ripped the frick off, right? So if you are collecting this line and you can't seem to find it anywhere locally, go online or something like that. Don't get caught paying any crazy prices for it, because he's definitely not a figure you want to pay more than $25 for. I'll let you know about the Roxy when I get her. Hey, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for supporting. And while I have it on my mind, if you have a chance, go out and check out our podcast, Toy Detox. It's a podcast that I'm doing with Suede66, a real robot. You're probably familiar with him from, he's been on the Shattered Cast podcast as a guest host. He's also been on the ROC. He does a number of other Transformer podcasts. And then, of course, he has a very large presence on Twitter. So, yeah, we have a great time doing Toy Detox. So check us out. It's on YouTube at Toy Detox. You can also check it out on Podbean and on iTunes. Hey, until next time, I am your host, Brave. This is Brave's Toy Review. This has been Manbat. See you later.